How to find some graphics then to make a holiday wall cling. Each of us are going to get about 10 square inches, so you can make something that's either about 3 by 3 or 2 by 5. Let's hop over to Illustrator and get started. So I'm going to open my Illustrator, and I want to go ahead and create a new file here. And we're creating a custom preset. Some of my settings are already saved from last time, but I'll just go in and first things first, we always want to set our units. I'm going to say inches, then I want my width and height to be 3, or you could do 2 by 5, right? If you wanted to make something a bit longer, you might do 2 by 5, right? And then you could always flip-flop it if you wanted to go long ways or horizontal ways. Doesn't matter to me. We don't need any bleed. Our color mode, CMYK, is good because we're going to print this. Again, 300 ppi is always good because we're printing. So let's just leave that stuff. That way you could even, create a preset, but not necessary. We'll just go ahead and create a workspace here. Once the beach ball goes away, we'll go ahead and get started. Let's just look for some graphics while my Illustrator is not working. We decided in here we're going to do Happy New Year. So let's hop on openclipart.org, find some Happy New Year type stuff. Oh look, Illustrator's loading. So I might type in fireworks. That seems apropos. Scroll through until we find something that we like. We could even combine some things. Maybe I want this firework here. I can go and click on SVG vector. That's going to give me the nice vector shape that I want. I'll save that in my downloads. Then I'll hop back, right? Maybe combine that with one of these wild Technicolor things. This would be a good example because we can simplify down all the colors in this firework. So I'll save that as, again, prismatic fireworks, whatever. SVG is the format that we need. Now, if I'm making something this long, I don't know if that's really the shape that I want, but let's pretend it is for today, right? 2 by 5, 3 by 3, whatever it is you're going for, I'll make it work. I am supposed to be the one who can pull that off if anybody can. So I'm going to go in, bring in these SVG files by just dragging them and dropping them into Illustrator. You can, of course, always go to File Open, but why make it harder on ourselves? I'm going to use the black arrow to select the parts of the SVG that I want to bring over to my composition here. So I can bring in that vector rocket here. I can even, hold Shift. That gives us a nice even transform. Shrink that down so it fits on our space here a little bit nicer. If you don't hold Shift, it's going to look kind of crazy and wonky. We don't want to do that. So I'll bring in my fireworks. Right, if I shrink that down without holding Shift, it's going to end up looking real bad. So always hold Shift in Illustrator. For whatever reason, Illustrator is the only one of the Adobe apps that still makes you hold down Shift. They used to all do that. Now it's the only one, so we'll just make do, I guess. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I'm going to keep making this smaller. Almost there. Well, if that's that size, I might want to make the firework a bit smaller. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of crazy. So this doesn't look good, and one of the reasons why it doesn't look good is there's no consistency between my colors. So what we can do in Illustrator to make this more unified, right, is to use our image recolor tools. We can do that by going up to Edit, Edit Colors, and recolor that artwork. Now, you can manually move around each one of these values to change the colors, but I'd rather just hop into my advanced settings where I have a lot more powerful tools to simplify my image down. I'm going to say that I only want this thing to be made out of, let's say, 5 colors. By default, it just sort of picks the most common colors in the image, but by doing that, it's now giving me this pretty muted thing that doesn't really feel like New Year's. So let's go in then and see what happens if we go and grab a color library. I'll pick the celebration color library preset, seeing as though we're going for a celebration. Okay, these are slightly brighter, but now let's see how we can make even better choices. If I look around my image, I can see what is currently selected as red. I think it'd be nice, since it's New Year's, if I sort of find some sort of yellow or gold value in this setting. Right, so I can just quickly change those all to yellow. Right, same thing here. These ones that are sort of a pink value, I don't know. Let's find something that fits with our celebratory color scheme. Maybe these darker blue values. That's nice. And I don't know if I want to go with green. Again, I'm going to come back, grab another yellow. Now, so far so good. I might also try to change it to be color harmony so that we're, if you're not satisfied, don't just pick the first thing. Maybe I only want 3 colors and I want it to be sorted by light to dark, or let's do hue forward. I want to, I'm going to say tints and shades. I don't think we need to preserve, well, we should preserve blacks and whites, sure. And I'm going to say that we want to choose these colors again from Celebration, okie dokie. Now, again, I want some brighter stuff. That's looking more like a Happy New Year and less like a goofy color scheme. Now you can change what it does here. If I change it to exact, it's only going to make this thing out of 2 exact colors. If you want it to have some preserved tinting involved, right, you might want it to have some of this light and dark value. Same thing, you might want to do that. Or you can do scale. Scale is going to give me, on this image, the most muted things. I think I'm going to go and click Preserve Tints. This seems to give me kind of a rich looking image. That's more or less what I'm going to go for. Everyone's mileage will vary here. I'm going to say OK. Now with my image simplified down to just a few colors, it looks a lot more unified here. The only thing that I don't really like is on this outline that they've built in a very difficult way for me to edit. I don't know, I think this could be back to one of those blue values. Like if I grab this, I might add that to my new gradient swatch. Maybe I'll see what happens if I click the outline here. That's starting to start to feel like something. Before it kind of felt like nonsense. The nice part about grabbing images that are SVG is we have full control over all of the vector qualities here. Right, so if I need to change the stroke width on something or delete the outline on something, I can just do it. I don't have to use Photoshop and go in and try to use some of my image correction tools. I can even grab this image of this firework. Maybe I'll grab it and rotate it and put it somewhere else. If something's not working for you, change it. Don't just accept what is given. That's starting to feel like a pretty cool New Year's graphic, or at least a good one for demonstration purposes. I'm going to also go ahead and click my yellow value here. I can click this plus to add it to my saved colors too. So if I need to, say on this next step, add some text where I come up here and say Happy New Year, I can give it the same look as everything else I've created so far. Again, I guess I need to select my text on my characters to have that value. Probably want to change it from the boring iPhone font downloaded this font yesterday for doing Happy New Year, so let's keep with the theme. Happy New Year. Align that to the center. All we have to do to make these into shapes is right-click our text then. Remember, it's Create Outlines in Illustrator that turns these things into shapes. I should now be able to change their color away from black to be that same nice blue value we came up with. Remember, if we want the line to be on the outside, we can go into our stroke settings, align stroke to outside. Wow, a unified design. A little busy. Maybe I'll move my Happy New Year down a bit. The other thing I don't know if I need is, I don't know if I need this stick on my rocket. It's already supposed to be in the air, I guess. This is also starting to feel a little too big, maybe. But right, I can copy and paste these things. Do whatever we want with it. Have yourself a happy little new year. Okay, that's the basics of designing graphics with SVGs. Hopefully I've given you some inspiration on how you can take some images that you already have the rights to on the internet and create your own graphic. In the next video, I'll show you how to add that cut line and get it prepared for the printer. Happy graphic designing.